Hello and welcome to another weekly update. And it's been a week this week where I have finally managed to kind of do some work and get some blog content out. So I'm kind of pleased about that, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in this video. I've made a decision, so I've literally just finished the blog and put it out, and there's some other content which is coming really soon. And it's not gone to Twitter or LinkedIn or anything like that yet, but I want to tell you guys about it first because I'm aware I've spent the last couple of weekly updates telling you that I was working on something and then not delivering on it, and so I finally, about half an hour ago, managed to finish all of that. So let's talk about that in a minute. Before I do though, I want to quickly tell you about something else that happened this week. I wrote a really quick blog post about, and that's to do with real-time presence in Microsoft Teams. So real-time presence is coming to Microsoft Teams. So I'll blog post about it. It's shown up in the 365 roadmap. If you've used Teams at all, or if you've been in the space for a long time, you come from the Skype for Business world, you will be aware that presence in Teams is not currently real time. There's a little bit of a delay, and that causes some issues if you change statuses quite quickly. So if you go straight from like a meeting into a call, for instance, and you're available for a very short dip in the middle of that, what tends to happen is that doesn't sync very well. So people see you as being available when you're now on a call, and so they'll try and call you or they'll try and interact with you, and then you then ignore them and they think you're ignoring you, and all this stuff happens. So real-time presence is coming. It's interesting as a kind of a developer on two levels. The first thing is interesting because this is a technically hard problem to solve in this kind of web based world that Teams is now in. That's very API driven and it's not SIP based. Doing real-time updates like that is kind of challenging to do at scale. So things like WebSockets, SignalR can help. I'm not really sure how like WebSockets and SignalR work at the kind of scale that Teams works at. So I imagine those are the kind of tricky problems they've been working through to get this stuff out. But it's good to see that it's coming. The other reason I'm interested as a developer is that there has been some kind of groundswell of support, certainly on user voice, for some kind of API around presence, and I think that's a really good idea. There's definitely there's functionality in there I would love to use if such a thing ever showed up, but I would worry if it wasn't real time. If the API was subject to the same issues around presence changing that we're seeing in the client. It seems though that's going to get worked out, so that means that any API when it comes hopefully will also be just as real time, and that makes it very exciting. So kind of all good news around that kind of real time presence stuff. It's pleasing to see that coming. Right, so big thing this week or the last couple of weeks that I've been working on is something new from Microsoft and from the Microsoft Teams team. It's called app templates. So I've done some content for them, so I'm not going to cover it massively here, but app templates are good for developers and they're good for non-developers. So if you're a non-developer, there's definitely interesting stuff for you as well. It's not all about the code, because the templates are fully fledged apps in their own right. They're almost products in their own right. They solve real problems. So even if you're not a developer, there's definitely stuff for you to go and have a look at, and because it might actually be that those things are just right for your users and exactly what your users want, in which case you can just take them and use them. You don't have to worry about doing anything else with them. Or they might be 80% or 60% of what it is you're looking for. So you can take that and then either kind of try and modify it yourself, which is much easier to do. If you're not a developer, it's much easier to take somebody's existing thing and modify it to make it right for you than it is to try and even imagine starting from scratch. So there's a blog post, there's a video coming soon that I haven't released yet, but in the blog post there is a walkthrough video which is public and is released because I wanted to kind of really nail this notion that anybody can get going with these templates. So I've taken one of the templates, one of the samples, one of the examples, one of the products, it's a bot, it's called Icebreaker, and I've started with absolutely nothing, and I've gone with the screen recording software, the whole process of deployment to actually running in Microsoft Teams, and the whole thing takes just under half an hour. So if you want to just follow along, go find that video. It's linked to that. It's in the blog. It's embedded in the blog post. The blog post links are all in the description. So yeah, take that and just follow it through. If you want to just do it along with me, almost sort of thing, you can pause the video. literally do the whole thing exactly what I'm doing. There's no edits. There's no kind of hand wavingness. It is pure, from nothing to working. So if that's useful, go and look for that. All right, what else? Oh, one other thing I want to tell you about. Again, you guys are lucky this week. You're getting all the stuff before everybody else gets it. I'd like to. What I should say is it's because it's a carefully thought out marketing plan to give you guys preview content, and kind of keep you keen. It's not that at all. It's my massive amount of disorganisation. So no disrespect to any of you, but you are very lucky in getting the stuff because I'm disorganised. So you're going to hear all about the app template stuff before I start releasing it onto social media, because I'm going to wait until I do that next week. And you're also the first to hear that I'm going to be speaking at an event in London in early July, so coming out really soon. What is this? So Evolve Conference happens every September time, October time, in the UK. Big UC event, MVP or community-led conference, one-day event. Always really well attended. I try and speak there if they'll have me. They're doing something this year which is a bit different, called Evolve Conference on Tour, and it's in London, and it's over 2 days, and it's at the Reactor building. And I'm going to put links in to both days because you can choose to attend one or the other. I believe it's free. It looks like it's free, and yeah, I'd say it's free. And so I'm going to be talking on day 2. I'm going to be talking after lunch. I've got that perfect after lunch slot where everyone will be just on the trough on the way down. So I'm going to have to try and pick them up. I'm going to be talking about building applications when you're not a developer. So guides for non-developers to building your first Teams application. So if you're in the UK, if you can get to London, if you can get to the Reactor building, the dates are July 9th and July 10th. I'm going to be speaking on July 10th. If you can possibly get there, it would be amazing to see you. Go and have a look at the content for both days because it's amazing. There's some really good speakers, bunch of MVPs all speaking. I think bunch of kind of UC experts. Yeah, it's both days are packed actually. Both days are really good. So I think that's everything I want to talk about this week. We've covered everything. The real-time presence stuff that's new, all the app template stuff, the kind of big stuff I've been looking at this week. And then, Evolve Conference is coming soon, so that's going to be interesting as well. All right, whatever is left of your weekend, not very much of mine, have a really good one. Have a great week next week, and go play with the app templates, and have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.